Since the last 2 years, I feel I've been on this huge discovery journey of reconnecting with my own core self and who I actually am, because I realized I'd gotten so disconnected from this. And I did a Vipassana. It broke open a lot of things for me that brought out many things that I've been hiding from myself, actually. One of the things that I've come to realize is that I'm actually a very sensitive person. And in a way I knew this, but somehow I'd been like pushing that part of me away because I felt so much. It was very overwhelming, especially when I was younger. And from there I've learned, I felt so much, so I've taken in a lot of like emotions also from people around me. So in first instance I know them because I feel them. I've never been a person who was able to watch horror movies or anything because I take that in very strongly, very easily. And I think as a child it embarrassed me because I seemed to be less strong than the others. And so I pushed that away. I didn't want that part of me. And I'm starting to realize now it's one of my superpowers. But the way I've started to understand it is because I kind of shut down the feeling. Or I tried. And from there I started to rationalize everything. And so I got actually very good at rationalizing emotions, which is an odd contradiction. But it helps me now though in supporting other people when I see certain things within them. But I would say the main way I know is because I feel it very similarly to what others are going through. And this is like what everyone's superpower is following my own intuition. So I think in the past I would have tried to answer this question of like, oh, how do I do this? But now I actually just go into a conversation with something and I allow intuitively to come what comes out of me. And oftentimes that's through going into the body. Like the body-mind emotion connection is so strong. So when we feel something or we don't feel something, it often can be located in the body. Like what is feeling tight? Is it your stomach? Is it your like chest? Because all those parts are related to certain emotions and certain ways of certain things we push away. Another way I often work is through using visualization techniques, because visuals just come very natural to me, and I help them go through it. Another way is through connecting to our inner child, because a lot of like those wounds we carry happen in our childhood, and by reconnecting to that little kid that we have within, it's often a beautiful way to reconnect to our emotions and allow them to come. So there's different things that intuitively come to me as I work with people on that. This feeling of just being in flow and kind of feeling that my mind shuts off and I just allow myself to feel within that moment what's coming to me, and that I say things that I'm saying for the first time in my life, but I know that once I say them it will resonate with the person in front of me. And it can be very powerful. So just going kind of in that state of surrendering, allowing to come to me what comes to me very intuitively. And yeah, we've had beautiful moments with people. Something else that's like, I feel a superpower, but I'm only tapping into it now, is healing. So it's an energetic healing. So only since about a year ago I started practicing Reiki, which is energy healing through the hands. And I feel I've had this long-term fascination with it, never really realizing I had that within me, and maybe also not wanting to acknowledge it because it's not very common yet within our society, and I didn't want to be the one that was the odd one, the strange, the one that seems a little like not fully functioning the way everyone else does. And so it's taken me a long time to come to acceptance with that. But in the Reiki, it's been a beautiful thing to realize I can truly sense the energy through my hands, and I can sense where it's blocked and where not. But another thing that happens is when I give Reiki to people and I close my eyes and I just tune into the moment, at times I'll see visuals appear, kind of metaphorical visuals, or I'll hear literally like messages, and it's like a voice in my head that's like, it's not that I'm hearing something in the outside world, it's like a thought that's not my own thought that comes in. And when I didn't really know what to do with this in the beginning, but when I've started to give this back to people, it really resonates with them. And so, for example, there was one woman that I was doing Reiki with, and I just saw her in this field full of flowers as a little girl, and she was so at home, and I just got that message like flower child, flower child. And then I could see how she was pulled out of that environment because it didn't fit, and how that had hurt her in the way she grew up. And so when I shared this with her, this very strongly resonated with her, and I could see it like getting to an emotional layer. And she even mentioned that someone else in the week before had called her that too, the flower child. So it was just really cool to see this come back for her and how it struck her. And it's such a beautiful way to then, because we used to communicate through stories, through metaphors. So to see how that comes in with people has been a very beautiful experience.